What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with another J-drama score reaction, and this is a soundtrack I've not yet reacted to anything from. It's for a 2006 suspense thriller type of show, also sort of a detective show, which is to say Naomi and Kanako. Now, those are two names, and in English-speaking cultures, I think we'd pronounce the first name Naomi, but in Japanese it's Naomi. In any case, that refers to the two main characters seen here, and indeed, you may recognize, if you follow my J-drama journeys, the actress here. She was in Ouroboros, and the other actress I've seen in different things, including Future Diary. There is a supporting character seen down here who was also in Ouroboros. So yeah, it features some familiar faces for those who follow my J-drama journeys on Patreon. In any case, to sum up as quickly as possible without any spoilers, it's something I may watch on Patreon down the road. The show begins with a scene with two women, Naomi and Kanako, about to commit a murder. And they're essentially saying, like, once we do this, we can't go back. And, will things be the same between us once we do this? And you don't quite know why. But essentially, very quickly in the first episode, and as you see more, including flashbacks to before this moment happened, that one of the characters was being abused. I think it's by her fiancé, maybe it's actually her husband, but she was being severely mistreated, and eventually it got to the point where she and her best friend killed her fiancé, maybe husband. And everything that happens in the show after that is, are they going to get away with it? So, again, it's a lot of suspense, it's some cat and mouse. The character down here in the corner plays the deceased man's sister, who is suspicious that there's something going on here that the police aren't identifying. And so it's the kind of show where every time it looks like maybe they're going to get away with it, there's more pressure and more danger, and it goes right to the end before there's any clear resolution on that matter. And in that regard, I thought a perfect track to start with, on the soundtrack composed by Gabriele Roberto, which I thought would maybe be a woman, but it's actually a man who is an Italian composer, but who works a lot in Japan. And indeed, he's won like a Japanese Academy Award for a score he did for a movie. I don't remember the name. In any case, the tune we're going to listen to is called Running Till the End, which very much has this dramatic suspense, what's going to happen type of feel. It's not only a bit adrenaline-fueled, but it also has this sense of grand scope and epic drama, which, again, is very much indicative of the show. Now, that being said, there are some comedy moments along the way, there's some larger-than-life characters, but in general, it's a show where, the suspense of, are these two women, which I think most people watching it would sympathize with the women and want them to get away with it, but of course also there's a question of what's justice in a case like this. So yeah, there's a real will they or won't they vibe, and this track I think nails it perfectly. So let's give it a listen. This is from Naomi and Kanako from 2016, a track by series composer Gabriele Roberto, and it's called Running Till the End. bass line at the end. But yeah, it's dramatic, it's got this epic scope to it. I do like those very fast strings, which are very notable at the start and persist through a lot of the track. Definitely there's a lot of, cycling percussion, there's very dynamic drum work in the tune. So yeah, it's suspenseful, it's epic, and there's a sense that it's heading towards some dramatic conclusion, which again is perfectly indicative of the score and the show conceptually. So again, I think it's a really fitting tune for the show and for the soundtrack. There's another tune that I almost wanted to start with, which is the track that plays in the very opening scene when, again, Naomi and Kanako are, whispering to each other about to commit a murder and saying, like, can we do this? Are we, like, will anything change between us if we do this? Are we going to get away with it? And so the next time I come back for this soundtrack, I think I'll listen to that one, because that's, another perfectly fitting tune for the soundtrack as a whole. But again, it's a cool show. It definitely keeps you guessing right up into the very end, and ultimately it features a number of actresses and actors who I had seen in other things by the time I watched this, and who I think do a good job. So yeah, as I said, somewhere down the line, probably not in the next, couple or few J-drama watch-alongs, but at some point in the not-too-distant future, it's something that I think would be a fun journey, because again, it would keep people guessing, and there'd be, there's twists and turns along the way that I think would be fun. So, in any case, let me know what you think of the track, and Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.